Hello,
Welcome back.
I'm Nicole,
And I'm Megan.
and we are the Synchronicity Sisters. Yay.
Back for another round of, we're here to tell you about all the things, but
All the things.
all the things.
The energy is super gnarly. Daylight savings time wrecks us.
I don't know why they still do daylight savings times.
It's been an adventure today.
But anyway, if you're new, we're happy that you're here. If you're an OG or just someone that's listening often, we're grateful for you because we would not be here without you guys. So thank you for that. We change your brain to change your life. We do all sorts of things, but it's just kind of a collection of new ways of thinking about things and how to move through life that has worked for us, and a collage of things that we've learned through our mentors and things. But the majority of it is based off of Taoism, Carl Jung, and Eric Berne. If you're curious, almost all of it is scientific. If it is not science or it's just an opinion, we'll let you know. But did I miss anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Today we're going to talk about cat ladies and OnlyFans. So a lot of this, I will say, is not really scientific.
Well, it is scientific because it's showing how in the masculine the feminine is.
No, correct, but like it doesn't say like a cat lady is masculine.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, no.
I own a cat.
But it's a mother archetype, so it can be classified as...
Right.
Yeah.
There's scientific stuff in here, but I would not say that like
Just because you own a cat puts you in your masculine.
yeah, no, I'd
That's
say
not
that
true.
that's a lot more negotiable than a man that watches porn and OnlyFans. That does put you into your feminine. Now, if you've only ever watched it like once because you're curious, that doesn't. But if it's something that you're doing habitually, like if you're a woman that doesn't date and owns 10 cats, then we can probably go into some science-based things about mothering. And if you're visiting OnlyFans or porn sites every day habitually, then that also becomes something that we could put into science. But just as a general, like, a cat lady is not necessarily, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, if you own 10 cats and you're not dating, and if you have an OnlyFans account and you're getting paid for requests, then, and you're not dating, we have a serious problem on our hands.
Wait, did you just take that whole step saying that did I miss that there's an OnlyFans lady that owns 10 cats and puts out content? Is that what you just said?
No.
Oh, I was like,
I was saying that if you have an OnlyFans and you're getting paid per request, I mean, you could have cats.
so she has cats instead of boyfriends?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Or requests instead of boyfriends because she's getting paid. Here we are. We could get real, we can get creative with this for sure.
So, in my knowledge, cat ladies are the mother archetype. Playgirls are the OnlyFans models. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't be more than one archetype.
You can't be both too.
You could be both.
And you would be an Amazon woman because you're technically a boss bitch because you're making all this money on OnlyFans.
Yeah, you have
Look at all of this.
you have hit the trifecta.
You have cats.
If you want to know what we are talking about, I taught a 2-hour class that is available in our Stan store on all of the alpha archetypes, the female alpha archetypes. And so there's the mother, the playgirl, and the Amazon woman.
It's a lot of content.
It's a ton of content.
It will make your head hurt.
But if you're wondering what we're talking about, the Amazon woman is basically the boss bitch, disassociated from her body, completely in her head. The playgirl is... she uses men for sex, essentially, to make money. So, like, porn stars and OnlyFans models are playgirls. So they play with their sexuality in order to make money, but aren't interested in a relationship. And if they do get into a relationship, they're also known as a claw woman because all they know is give me and more. They don't actually want a man for being a man. They just want him for money. So they've completely shut off their femininity. And then there's the mother archetype, which is the most dangerous. And it is the most common one because the majority of boss bitches and playgirls are also the mother archetype. And like Nicole made a good example, you can also be all three.
Yeah.
OnlyFans girls are some of them probably are all three if they're dating at all. But the mother archetype is the most dangerous, and it's what you see women not being able to come out of because they become mothers. And that is so fulfilling that they have a hard time letting their children mature, especially their sons, past being children. And if you are familiar with also the mythology of Kali, same thing. She went into her mother and turned into basically a demon-slaying crazy lady. And then Shakti, or she had to transform back into Shakti, so Shiva was actually the one that transformed her back.
Didn't he like cut off her tongue or something?
No, that was her submission.
Oh, there you go.
So
she put her tongue back in her mouth.
So when she went to kill him, because she thought that he was one of the demons,
Yeah.
she was drunk on blood because the demons kept reincarnating until she drank all of their blood.
Right.
So she was literally insane. And then she recognized Shiva as her husband in love. And then she opened her mouth in submission of the breath.
Right.
And so then she, through the breath, she transformed back into Shakti.
There you go.
And
this is our Dalmatian. She's making an appearance.
That's also why the masculine is so important, in case you're wondering, because if we don't have the masculine to submit to and recognize our feminine selves, because it is it is masculine to mother, we have a very hard time transforming back into the feminine because we're too busy slaying demons without support, because we are responsible on the spiritual plane to care for the ones we love. And especially children, mothers do that basically full time. And then once the child is old enough to care for themselves, they enter into the physical plane, and then it's the father's responsibility. And that's the transition we have to go through. And I love the mythology of Kali because it really personifies that really well, of like the transition from mother back into feminine or woman. Because mothering is a tremendous job, and it takes, some of that softness away. But we can get it back, and that's the important part. But that's also why mothering is the most dangerous of all the archetypes, because it's not inherently wrong. It's actually a beautiful thing, but we forget who we are outside of mothering. And so, it can create a lot of trauma in children when we don't let them become autonomous. And we're not mothers. So, I cannot tell you how difficult that is, but I do know through a mentor that has 4 daughters, like this is part of her, training that she does with us. So, is to just understand that transition and just how important it is. So at girls, it's when they're 8, and boys, it's when they're 11, because they're adults. So then it becomes mainly the father's responsibility to then take charge of the material plane and protect the daughters, and then the sons, he's more of the parent that controls them at that point, because if the mother tries to, then you're going to eat his masculinity. So anyway, but cat ladies that usually don't have children, or their children are already grown and then they buy cats to mother, I don't have a problem with getting the cats. Just make sure that you're continuing to date, because the masculine is really important. And I'm meeting so many women, like, that DM us and this and that have just given up on men. I had one, I think it was yesterday. Anyway, yeah. I know her. She went to my my Kundalini teacher training with me. And she sent me this funny meme of all of, like, she's like, I went on a dating app, and then it was all these pictures of ugly fish. And she's like, this is what this looked like.
Oh, my God.
And I started hysterically laughing. And again, I won't lie. There's maybe one good guy in every 50, and maybe.
It's like maybe.
On dating apps. But it is important that you stay dating even when you don't want to, because it does allow you to practice being in your feminine or practice being in your masculine if you're a guy, and just like what that looks like, because we don't have clear boundaries around those things. We think that OnlyFans models are feminine.
Well, the thing is that, the podcast before this, we talked about the incel movement in the masculine. And so it's actually like the cat woman or the cat lady could be considered a female incel, but also so can an OnlyFans. Like, when you're so collapsed into your masculine, as a woman, could technically be considered a female incel because you're no longer seeking sexual pleasure with another human,
Well, but a lot of the OnlyFans models they're still having sex.
with themselves.
No, like they're actually shooting porn. Did you not know that?
Yeah, but that's not sensuality. That's a penis.
But sex is not. So, but if we're using the incel movement, incel is involuntarily like not having sex. So
Okay, that's fair.
we can call them like lack of lack of sensation. Like they're completely, but they're not. I mean, the cat lady incel that has like 10 cats and like
Please, she's getting some kind of stroke.
stop shaving.
Stop shaving.
They do.
Well, that's a whole nother movement.
I mean, that's fine. You do you. Some dudes are into that.
I can't imagine having hairy legs past like 5 days. Shit hurts. Like, go, girl. You do it. It's so itchy.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on if you have coarse hair or not.
It's still itchy.
But
I don't know. Anyways, so, do you if you don't want to shave.
but it is. I do give you that it is the absence of femininity because she has no sensuality. She's having sex with anything that walks, and she doesn't care about her own safety. So we could make up a new word for that, but it can't be incel.
So it's like involuntary intimacy within sex. I don't know.
Numb.
Okay, great. So these humans are female versions of numbness. You're so in your masculine. It's all like honestly, the bottom line is it's all trauma induced, and most of it is over time. Like it just layers and layers and layers, and it becomes voluntary where you're just like, I just don't want to deal with it anymore.
Well, the only sensation she feels, she's a sex addict essentially, right? So she's completely devoid of femininity. It's just an extreme form of, she's a pain addict. She's in her masculine. She only cares about the physical sensation. There's no soul connection or anything like
she's
that.
Oversexed. Like you're either oversexed or undersexed. Trauma on both sides, right?
Can you be good sexed?
Yeah, in the middle, when you're a healthy human, like processing your stuff, then you probably don't fall under cat lady. You don't fall under mom archetype, playgirl, or Amazon. You're in recovery at that point.
Correct.
You're in recovery.
You're in recovery. I mean,
that's pretty much what, like, the point of all of this is to recognize what it is so then you can get healthy from it, because I can totally see how easily people can fall into being a cat lady or a dog lady. That's a thing too.
Well, but dogs you get more strokes from than cats. I will say that. Like my cat versus Shiloh. Like my cat.
You can't walk your cat. Well, you could walk your cat.
And she's not really loving. Like she's there and I appreciate her and I care for her, but she's not really like a very loving being.
That's true. Shiloh's like a kid.
Yeah, like Shiloh give me kisses and like snuggle me.
Yeah, and she like goes everywhere. We like buckle her in.
The cat, I'm afraid if I don't feed her that she'll murder me in my sleep.
She has food trauma, so there's that.
But I think that sex is a great way to gauge healing journey, because if you're male or female and you're having casual sex, there's something broken in you.
Our society is very broken right now,
right? So if you're having casual sex, there's something broken. You're a sex addict, essentially, to differing degrees. Women, you don't understand sensuality. Men, you have never connected with your soul, so you don't know what it is to have a deep soul connection and to understand that sex is not just a physical act. Men actually do have to learn that. Women, that should be inherently built in. But if it's not, because your dad damaged you, essentially, and did not cherish you, and you were raised to be a little boy, then you think of sex as a physical act as well, just to get off, versus sensuality and safety and intimacy. You don't require that as an entrance fee. So, both are male or female. If you're having casual sex, even if you're being honest, that you have problems. You're on your soul journey. We need to kind of get back into understanding that sex, you're exchanging energy with somebody, and that imprints into your field and you're dealing with their shit and yours, to me, that's the part of sex that asleep people don't understand. They think like mutual masturbation is okay, which again, you have a right to do that, but just understand that if you are having casual sex, then you are not awake, even if you think you are. Mm-hmm. And then if you're having no sex and you're completely isolated, we also have a problem. Same thing, opposite sides, right? Now, if you're consciously celibate and you're like, I'm not having sex until somebody, meets my price and I know my worth and da-da-da-da-da.
And you have 3 cats. It's okay.
But with the incel, right? And then we have like the oversexed playgirl or playboy or whatever.
Which is like our entire culture right now. Everybody is so oversexed. Everything and everyone is so oversexed.
Yeah, but I mean, so if you're like, where am I in my consciousness? How do you think of sex and how do you interact with sensuality, sexuality, like all of those things? As a woman, do you require sensuality before sexuality? For men, do you also understand that you want a sensual woman in order to have sex with her, not a sexual woman that is just like, let's fuck and I don't care? Because you're going to pay the price for that in one way or another.
Eventually they get bored anyways.
The boy or the girl?
The man.
The girl
and she feels used.
Well,
or she just is like, I'll take all your money and run.
Yeah, it depends on how much her dad traumatized her.
Yeah, she might bleed you dry. Literally, soul level and or financially or both.
Yeah, and you can also look at her social media and kind of tell where she is on that spectrum. Because if
much
she's
skin does she show?
Posting thirst traps all the time, odds are she'll suck you dry and leave.
Oversexed. Oversexed. Suck you dry. I got you. Punny.
Yeah. But, and there's playboys that are beautiful little Paraturnuses that think that
they'll suck you dry too. Emotionally suck you dry.
Well, they want a mommy to pay for all their stuff.
Yeah.
So
if they're succubuses either way, whether you're male or female, and if you're in that playgirl archetype or playboy archetype, dangerous game.
Well, if you're having sex basically just to get off, we got a problem.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
We got a problem because sex can be either the most spiritual thing you've ever experienced, or it can be the most soul-sucking way to literal hell on earth than anything else. That's the fastest way to get there, in my opinion.
Pretty much. So, if you're listening to this, where do you fall on this spectrum? What can you relate to? And if this resonates with you, we are here. We have been there. I have been an Amazon woman. Been there, done that. Megan, you've been an Amazon woman.
Yeah, I mean, I have flipped between mothering men, Amazon women.
I've been a cat lady, Amazon woman.
Yeah, I mean, I've even dated people that I don't care about.
I don't have an OnlyFans account.
Oh, no. No, I wasn't I was never disassociated enough to only use men for money or things like that. Like that was not my... I was mainly Amazon mother. I would mother men more than anything else.
So, if this relates to you, we've been there, we've done that, and we have figured out how to step out of that to fall right in that middle.
We're in recovery.
Yeah. So, if this resonates with you and you're interested in recovery, we definitely recommend that you start with our Alpha Woman class. It's available on the Stan store, or send us a DM if you have any questions in regards to archetypes that we talked about today. And just, ask yourself the hard question and look at yourself in the mirror, because that's the first biggest step, is being like, oh, wow, I can look around how many cats you got.
Or if you're just isolated, or if you're oversexed, or any of those things, it's not shameful. It's just understanding. And then it's do you want to step into your spiritual self? Do you want your life? Because sex also has a lot to do with money and things like that. So
yeah, absolutely. So if you're watching us on YouTube, thanks for being here. We're working on our subscribers. We're growing, we're building, we're getting there. If you're on Apple or Spotify, share, or rate the show. Every little rating helps so that we can be here and keep showing up for you guys, keep bringing you content. And is that anything else that I missed? Okay. All right. Well, good luck, ladies. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Charlotte.